wow. Just wow. This book had some of the most intense scenes that I have read. In fact, it actually got so intense that I had to put the book down for 15 minutes to catch my breath. That's right. I needed recovery time during reading a book, not at the end, in the middle of the book. And believe me when I tell you, I've never done that before. And I know what you're thinking. I should have been ready. I knew what I was getting myself into. Well, it turns out that I wasn't. Now, what I will say is that I did know going in that The Poppy War was going to be a hard-hitting, very heavy-themed book. And this young author, Rebecca Kuang, did not pull any punches, I'll tell you that right off the bat. And just a heads up, this author will lull you into a false sense of security because this book escalates in every sense of the word. The first half of the book, they give you little indications of where it's heading and you get a little teaser of how dark it might become, but it absolutely just starts to steamroll once you get through the beginning phases that really seem pretty harmless. So make sure you got your game face on when you read this book, because if not, it will blow up in your face. All right. Let's get to the review. So The Poppy War moves around a lot, and it moves at an absolute breakneck pace throughout the entire book. This is truly a dark Asian-inspired fantasy that takes a lot of its inspiration from the throes of war and just how ugly that landscape can be. So to give you a quick rundown without any spoilers, we follow a young girl called Rin, who is actually an orphan, and she's been taken in by people who do not like her, do not want her, and totally use her for their own benefit. In fact, early in the book, her mother figure actually almost sold her off to be married to a man purely to help their opium business. So yeah, we're dealing with some real duds here. And when Rin objects to this magnificent offer put before her, her mother says, "Don't worry, it won't be so difficult. All you have to do is slowly and systematically get him addicted to opium so that he won't cause you any problems and the marriage will be no issue at all." I mean, what? That's the kind of thing she was dealing with. So we really pick up with this girl at a very low point in her life. So, as you would expect, she decides to leave, and she thinks the best way to do that is to apply to a military school which is the best in China. And the only way to get in is to be the #1 student. So she works harder than anyone to get where she needs to go. But what she doesn't realize is what she's actually signing herself up for. And she has to rely on her hard work and dedication throughout this entire book to get where she needs to go. And to throw in some race issues, because this book shies away from nothing, she's a dark girl, and that is very much outcasted within China in this story, where everyone is very, very pale. So she stands out like a sore thumb. Just one more hurdle for her to get over. And I thought that was a really nice touch by the author. I, for one, am sick of reading books where everything falls into the protagonist's lap. Everything is beautifully set up. Nothing ever goes wrong. Nah, none of that. I want everything going wrong. I want them to problem solve and get over it and work out how to resolve the situation just from their tough resolve. Now, as we progress through this book, the magic system starts to become apparent to us, and it's never completely clear, which is a really nice touch. But basically, it's linked between gods and the living, and only a few people can tap into that connection. So Rin, her motivation is to learn how to tap into that power, how to use it, how to wield it, all sorts of different things. And one thing I love was that the mystery of this magic system held up throughout the entire book. We just got little bits more and more of a taste as the story went on, but it was never completely laid out on the table, which was a very fun ride. One of the major themes of this book is showing just how cruel and unforgiving human beings can be under the wrong circumstances and under the wrong leadership. There's no limitation to what people are capable of in times of war. And like I've said before, the Poppy War explored those themes without pulling any punches. And yet, despite all of this, it never felt like the author was doing that just to shock us and just to slap us in the face. A lot of authors do that, so I really appreciated that Rebecca Kuang did not do that. She hit us hard and fast and right between the eyes, but it never felt like it was without intention and purpose. So if you're going to go to those lengths to deal with the hard stuff, make sure it fits authentically within the story that you are trying to tell. So what I will say overall is, if you can handle those heavy themes, then this book is top tier, top shelf. I absolutely could not stop reading this book. I loved it so much, but beware, this be intense. So let me know, what did you think of The Poppy War? Did it shock you as much as me? Is it something you want to read? Let me know down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up to support the video, and I'll catch you next time. See ya!